What's going on, world? It's your man, Mr. Met.
And I'm Crystal Leven.
This is the M+M+M show, aka the show coming to you live and direct with somebody I go back like fat laces with. Definitely a hip hop connoisseur. I coined that term. He's a knowledgeable dude. I co-signed that. And he's an absolute Clubhouse killer and one of the biggest Clubhouse curators in existence, and that's a brand new thing. So he's brand new with this thing, and he's here to talk about his thing. Homeboy, could you please state your name so people know I'm not lying?
What's going on? It's Bishop Brigance, Scarborough Zone, Toronto representative. Yes, me and Mech go back very, very far. And man, I like this. I like this new title, this new thing I can add to my bio. This Clubhouse room curator. It's fun.
Curator, yeah. So first of all, I feel like I actually have been avoiding Clubhouse because it's just more talking heads. But the main reason I have been avoiding it is because we discussed that it's something that needs to evolve, and it's going to evolve by having proper curation. Absolutely. Right now, there's the type of arguments and the type of hand raising or the type number of speaking people. It's nobody's qualified, or very few people are qualified. Just people that want to be heard and have another platform just to. Yeah.
That's another one of mine.
Qualified
opinions.
Everyone has an opinion, but is it qualified, right?
Yeah,
I'm qualified in certain directions and not in others.
But see, that's where Bishop, and that's one of the things that warrants this entire interview. Besides the fact that he's the homie, and if he ever had something he wanted to talk about and boost up, I'm here for him on that note because he does quality shit. But outside of that, Bishop has made it a point to eliminate the talking head segment and sections of Clubhouse. He gets a room and he only loads the stage with connoisseurs. If you're not a connoisseur, you expose yourself in those spaces. We get on those stages. He invites me often. We get on those stages. We don't talk about album cuts. I mean, we don't talk about singles. We talk about album cuts. We talk about, like, we do deep dives in the records. You have to know what you're discussing. Otherwise, you're, like I said, you're just going to be exposed, and everybody knows it. It's like that one person who steps out of line and just shows the whole room that you're not supposed to be in this room.
Yo, that's what I love about Clubhouse. So like, I got there in October last year. And
when did it get started? Because I just heard about it probably 2 months ago.
Yeah, I feel like it was early last year. I mean, I got in there October.
Okay.
So I know that it started off with a lot of tech people that were on there. So when I got on, I was just like, what's going on here? And I realized early that I was always in rooms with people that were, I just started realizing that there was a lot of cap going on. There was a lot of people that were just, saying whatever. And, if people listen, they'll listen, and if they don't know better, they'll start
believing whatever
in what you're saying. But the thing I love about Clubhouse is this: you can try your hardest, but you can't fake it. It's not like Twitter. It's not like Instagram. I can't go buy a chain and throw it on, and then people are gonna rock with me. It's not like that. You cannot fake it in the sense of it's not about pictures. It's not about just some random thoughts. This is about what you're saying to the people, what you're giving to the people. It's easy to talk some shit and it get debunked. Because I saw early somebody was on there and they were like, "Yo, I'm an A&R for Interscope," and then it didn't take long before somebody pinged somebody who was
from Interscope,
the head of A&R at Interscope, and they came in the room and said, "Well, who are you? What department are you in? What's your name?" And gone. You know what I mean? Like, just like that. You can't.
Well, like Twitter was 140 characters, so it's really short to like pretend they're fake. And then you can edit your TikToks, you can edit your Instagrams. You can't like edit yourself in real life.
What you say,
words.
you can't.
This is real time.
You can't
edit your words,
your
your vocals
in real time. You can if it's recorded, but not in real time. And this is all 100% real. And here's the other good part. The reason why I enjoy Bishop's room so much is because it's a room full of connoisseurs all trading what we know.
Right.
There's very little right and wrong. except for when we get down to factual information. By factual information, I mean like dates and times and places.
Which is where Just Blaze comes in.
Right. Oh God. Just Blaze, Dart Adams, the people who have studied this culture in all the ways that matter. I'm not talking about casual fans. Casual fans probably feel out of place. They're probably bored by the room. If you're a casual,
you know what? I can't say that because a lot of people that I would think were casual fans have been hitting me up. I've been getting like inundated with messages from people. I mean, I met, two guys from the video game industry that, like the head of Xbox, one of the heads of Xbox, another guy, Jeff, who does, that was Aaron, another guy, Jeff, who runs was the executive producer and creator of the Video Game Awards in LA. So these guys are like, they're fans of hip hop and, they grew up with hip hop, but they're hitting me up because they're like, man, I was in your Long Beach room, I was in your Compton room, I was in these rooms, and I've learned so much. And
those aren't casuals.
Well, but they're learning.
Those
they
are
might
students.
not know all this stuff.
Those are students. Those are students. That's
fair.
different from a casual fan. That's
but
a student.
Becoming, but I feel like there's a lot of people that, they started off by, just
being curious,
loving the culture. Right. And then when they get in our rooms, I don't say they're not just my rooms, they're our rooms. You know what I'm saying? But when they get in our rooms, we got Royce the 5'9", we got Glasses Malone, we got Mech, we got Just Blaze, Crooked Eye. These are my usual suspects that are there. Just Blaze, DJ Scratch sometimes, K Slay. Like we got guys that are coming in that are pillars of the culture, and they're just dropping gem after gem after gem. Like, bro, when we did the Compton room and Coolio came in.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And that really broke down.
Shout out to the oldest and coldest.
The oldest and coldest, right? And
his nickname, not even an insult. His nickname for him, from him, he told us specifically to refer to him as the oldest and coldest.
And if we didn't have him in his top 3, he would body anybody in his top 3.
That's what he said. And meant it.
100%. And the game came in, and he stated his claim, which went viral, which was pretty cool. The Long Beach, the Bay Area.
The Bay Area room was turned. Yeah, Yuck Mouth has become a regular after that. He's shown up.
We did the Brooklyn room, and the Track Masters came in, Tone and Poke. Yeah. And the stories they told us from the night Pac got shot at Quad Studios. These were some very
heavy moments, big moments,
deep and
detailed, intricate moments that most people only hear. As an interviewer, they're answering the kind of questions that I don't think they would answer if they knew they were going to be quoted.
Right.
Like I've interviewed.
They're careful.
I've interviewed the game. Now, no. The game is a bad example because he doesn't give a fuck. He talks. He says
but the beautiful thing is he believes what he's saying. So that's
which is why he doesn't give a fuck. I think that's why he never cares what he says.
I said what I meant what I said. Yeah.
Right. But
that's why I love Glasses, though.
Same thing.
Yeah, I love Glasses because, and I feel like a lot of his time now in Clubhouse is really getting to shine the light on how much he studies the game, how much he'll say some hot shit, he'll have some hot topics, but he's always got legitimate shit to back up what he's saying. So like he'll say some wild shit, and yes, we call him Goalpost Malone because he'll move that goalpost every now and then, but overall, he's very knowledgeable about the entire culture. And, every room that we have, I feel like I'm just learning something every day. I
have a question just because I'm a Clubhouse dummy. How does I joined, but I just don't
we gotta get in our room. So Wednesday, tomorrow. Yeah.
All right, deal. So how do things go viral? Like, do people record it, or is it just the topic and somebody talks about that it went viral? Like, how does it?
I don't think.
Can you watch things again? Can you?
So I don't think people are supposed to be taping. I'm not like again. We are students of hip hop. We are children of hip hop. So if somebody's gonna record it, bootleg it, put it out, I ain't tripping. That's a part of the culture. It's a part of the game. I can't knock the hustle. So there are pages on YouTube that are dropping some of these things. I think what happens when something goes viral is when it's a direct quote. Like when you heard the game say, yo, I'm better than everybody. I'm number one from Compton ever. And he says, including Kendrick. That's a hot take to a lot of people, but you know, it's also something that a lot of people don't say publicly. A lot of rappers don't really name
Even
names.
if they think it.
regardless how they feel about
So
themselves.
that's gonna make it go viral. I think
And it
that's
goes viral on other platforms. Like it'll go
YouTube
on
mostly.
Instagram, it'll
YouTube
go
and
on
Twitter.
YouTube. Oh, Twitter. Okay.
I was tight because I was like, man, I'm tired. Meg knows I got tired because for a while I was always my name, and Royce be cracking jokes about this all the time. He be saying, "Oh, you got your newfound fame now," because they was always recording it, and it would be like Glasses Malone, Royce the 5'9", getting a heated debate with Dave Mays, with Crooked Eye, Mech, and more. And I was always called the and more guy.
Yeah.
It was called me and more. I was like, man,
Meanwhile,
come on,
it was his room. Meanwhile, he started it and
Right,
invited
but-
us all in, and he was and more, which was so disrespectful. I
It's so
felt
funny.
bad.
But
I felt bad every time I saw it. It was wild disrespectful.
But you know what? Now they say my name. Now they Bishop's room, whatever, it's lit. But yeah, like so they'll go viral. They'll go viral when they got some heated moments. Because I mean, when Dave Mays came in there, you know, they recorded the part where Royce was, you know, being direct and getting at him because Dave was saying a lot of bullshit. You know what I mean? He was saying a lot of nonsense. But me and the part that didn't get put out was how me and Just Blaze were really putting him on the hot seat when it came to 5 mics and the integrity of the 5 mics, right? I don't know if this is a hot topic that we could talk about. For
I don't give a.
Okay, so like I basically was direct in my questioning with him, and I was like, look, man, like why, you know, we were all saying like, why did you give, you know, your boy, you know, 4.5 mics? And he admitted, it might have been the first time ever. I don't know if I've ever heard him literally admit it this way, but he was like, yo, I was doing my boy a favor. I was riding for my boy, trying to help him out. And I don't care what you meant or where you were going with that, but that literally right there is wiping out the integrity of what the 5 mics is supposed to be. That is not supposed to be you hooking up your boy.
A homie
You're
hook
supposed
up,
to
yeah.
follow a criteria, and you just publicly said this shit on Clubhouse. But for some reason, that didn't go viral the way, you know, Royce was telling him, you know, go fuck yourself. Who the fuck are you type shit.
Because violence and that kind of anarchy is always going to play better to the an audience that elected Trump. Like a mentality that got Trump in office, they're always going to be more prone to enjoying
Hothead shit, yeah.
Yeah, the F crap.
Yeah,
Everybody's gonna love that.
Jerry Springer was on the air.
Thank you very much.
So,
Thank you.
You know,
He was on the air for how many years? That was a long show.
Yeah, I said again, that's another one of mine. We were talking about like, you know, how come people find this entertaining? I'm like, yo, you have to remember, this is the same audience that's kept Jerry Springer on air for decades.
Mm-hmm.
Maury is not going anywhere. He's damn near mummified. Why? Because people like nonsense. Everybody loves the bullshit. That has nothing to do with nothing. If you go down the block and you see somebody playing a saxophone or playing a piano or kicking a poem, you might check it out your peripheral, but you don't stop moving. You see 2 people getting ready to fight.
Oh, you're there.
There's a crowd around them that goes back for a block. Like they're lined up around the corner with the phones out to watch the nonsense.
You know what though? I think this, I'm going to quote my mom. She always says that that people's polarity gets switched though. You get too much of bad things, you get addicted to it. So too much poison, alcohol, drugs, whatever, you get addicted to it. And then you no longer recognize the healthy stuff. So we have so much like violence and anger and we glorify it. I mean, I'm not against drug shows. I love the cartel shows.
Right.
I mean, but it's cartel. I mean, this is bad shit.
I mean, I hate
bad things.
I hate switches, but I watch First 48 any chance I can get it.
Right. We like the drama, but it's because there's so much access to it and it's so glorified and it's like, it's sexy because it's bad. So we do it, but then we're polarized the wrong way. So that when we do see someone kicking poetry on the street, we share it with a couple people maybe, or we post it. We're like, oh, cute moment.
If you even reach for your phone, because if you're
like,
on the phone,
I'm like, oh, New York subway artist, that's cool. But
like, that's the same thing about Clubhouse. That point right there, what you're saying is a great point, because when I started, this is mind-boggling to myself. But when I started on there, I was like, okay, maneuvering room here, maneuver to a room there, crack a couple jokes, and then I was like, man, I'm not really finding my vibe here. I can't find it. I'm finding this room is a lot of, ratchet shit. I'm finding this room is, too much, people saying how I should be doing things. And then this room is, bro, I started doing morning affirmation rooms because I was like, yo, I don't even like, I'm not even sure why. I was just like, let me try this. And I tried it. And all of a sudden, mad people were being drawn to positive energy. So I started realizing that people actually need the right people to say the right things. They need the right information. So how now can I find my footing and what is my expertise? Well, I've been in the battle rap culture for 20 years plus. As a battle rapper, as a person that threw events, to then when the inception of King of the Dot came to joining that team and being a part of that for 11 years. I've been a rapper for pretty much my whole life since I could talk slick. And, this is my culture, this is my life. So I'm going to tap into that. And when we all kind of like, we're getting into our conversations and we're like, okay, well, let's talk about Queens. Let's talk about the top. Let's talk about the greatest. And then it kind of went to Brooklyn. Now, when we do rooms, it's like people have trusted the brand of our room of like, the usual suspects. They trust us with the way we're going to navigate that conversation, the way we're going to give flowers to the legends. Like listen, yesterday, I don't know when this is coming out, but yesterday we had a room that started at 9 p.m. Right now, the room just ended and it's the next day. And I went back to the room because I was like, oh shit, the room's still going. Because normally I stopped the room, but I didn't, I just let it go. And then I was in there with Master G from the Sugar Hill Gang was in the room, right? So here I am, and I'm like, so I come in the room and I'm reading the room. It's my room, but I'm reading the room because it's been like 12 hours since I've been here, and I'm seeing.
Started a party, went to sleep, and came back to the party.
Right, so I'm seeing what everybody's talking about, and it's cool. But then I realized, okay, hold on, nah. Has anybody acknowledged this guy that's here? And nobody's acknowledged the situation. So I said, listen, the room is about New Jersey. The Sugar Hill Gang's from New Jersey. We have to talk to Master G. Excuse me, everybody. We're going here. And it turned into at least an hour and a half of like questions after questions and getting incredible insight from the guy that's the third verse on Rapper's Delight, what it was like during that time, what the business was like during that time. Who else?
Stories over there.
Finding out that the message, White Lines from Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five was all recorded in New Jersey, came out on the Sugar Hill Records. So it's like, that's why when I text you that today, Mac, I know I was just joking around trying to trigger you, but like when you think about it, these records that are the pioneers of starting hip hop in New York, they were recorded in New Jersey, and we know our studio sessions.
Oh, that's why you said that.
And you ignored my text too, but it was funny.
Of course, because I'm not falling for that.
But it's great to hear things like that, and it's a blessing that God, I believe that record came out in '78. I don't know.
Probably.
77.
Rapper's Delight. But for him to be on this app and have this conversation, and like we were literally sitting there like, wow. It's amazing, right? It's a blessing.
People who can never get a chance to talk to him in regular life.
And they got that in my room, even though it overflowed to the next day. The topic was the top 3 greatest of all time from New Jersey. And we got to hear from Jerry Wonder yesterday. We got to hear from
the man behind the Fugees.
Score. You know what I mean? Like, so I mean,
it's 79. I just looked at it.
I'm having a blast, and I'm blessed to have, my brother Royce the 5'9", Mech, Glasses, Van Lathan, Mouse, Crook. I'm blessed to have these pillars of the culture riding with me on this journey as we go city to city. And that's not all, man. We talk about, these topics, they branch out into tons of different discussions, and I care about it so much. Mac knows, like, I care about these rooms and these conversations so much, and more so for the audience too, because we got to learn, man. In order for us to respect and understand, how we even got here, I feel like all of these pioneers and all of these people that had great careers in different regions, they need to be talked about, and it's better to talk about them when we have this platform like Clubhouse instead of just just amongst ourselves in barbershops. We got a platform. We got a platform right now. So I'm trying to take advantage of it the best way I can for the culture.
Quick question. Because you're talking about history, and we've been discussing history a lot in the last year, especially.
Yeah.
Things have changed a lot of ways, I would think, for the better. Like socially, culturally, I mean, hopefully, and politically sucked. But the point is, we're trying to make progress. We're trying. The point, ideally, some of us are trying. At least like half the country maybe is trying to make progress. But with the history of hip hop, does it ever come up? Like, I mean, obviously, it will come up that some people think it's trash now, or it's getting watered down, or whatever. Like does that type of crap come into it, or is it more just pure?
Well, it can
discussion of the old, or
no. We talk about
the history versus.
We cover those rooms, cover all eras. We go up and down, back and forth, side to side. We talk about the advantages and the disadvantages. We have conversations about who's been more influential. How is it that some rappers have never heard of X, Y, and Z, why they don't need to have heard about X, Y, and Z, then why they should have heard about X, Y, and Z, and if they haven't heard of them, they need to learn about them because A, B, and C. Like all eras get covered. We'll call something trash in a minute. We'll call somebody's opinion trash in a minute.
But we are navigating the conversation to pay homage, give flowers, and focus. We focus on the greats. However, these topics do come up because there are younger people that pull up, and the younger.
I'm wondering how this can give more. Like, it's giving flowers to the guys, to the greatest, but also how can it give more moving forward? So
Justina Valentine was in the room, and we were talking about New Jersey, but then Justina was like, "Yo, I'm just gonna I'll keep it a buck. I got to talk about Fetty Wap." Now, from him going diamond off, the single, and yes, he's a great 100%. But some people that are, people that are a little bit older aren't going to place him there because we got people like Tretch, we got people like Queen Latifah, we got people like
Lauryn Hill, Redman.
Lauryn Hill. These are like, when we're talking about greats, we're talking about like longevity. Well, we got a criteria. The criteria that we follow is called cultural impact. It's body of work. It's technical ability. It's longevity, and it's commercial success.
Okay. Oh, that's
This is our criteria for the greatest. It's not always about the favorite. Like, usually in the conversation, we'll get to our favorite song, our favorite album out of that region. But when we start the conversation, we're trying to really break down that top three, and we normally, the room kind of majority is in agreement. We're in agreement.
What was your top three
in New Jersey?
Yeah,
my top three in New Jersey was Redman, was Tretch, and Queen Latifah.
That was my top. We had the same top three.
I couldn't remember, but yeah, I think.
No. They called because they were calling me a misogynist because I didn't have any.
That's right. That's right.
Right. So it wasn't Latifah. I think I said Joe Budden.
Yeah. Joe Budden. And I mean, rightfully so as well, right? My reasoning for Queen Latifah was that I felt, even as a student during the time when she emerged, and I actually never talked about this part, but I have a lot of women in my family. I have 4 sisters. I have a lot of aunts. I have a lot of cousins, and it's a predominantly woman. A lot of women in my family. So when I was able to see Queen Latifah come out the way she did, like MC Lyte is a great to me. Like, I love MC Lyte. I did a song with her. I love her. I think she's probably she'll be my number one. So when Queen Latifah emerged, I was like, yo, this is This is power. This is woman. This is ladies first. This is woman empowerment. This is UNITY. This is, I'm rapping my ass off and you will respect me. I am a queen. This is right out the gate. And to me, that's, I like thinking about it, I got goosebumps, man. I got goosebumps because I don't feel that
that's cultural impact for sure.
100, yeah, and it's not
100%.
celebrated enough by the women that have that kind of content. She was able to do that and be successful without being, provocative in the sense of like, or
Sexualizing herself,
sexualizing
objectifying herself.
She knocked Lauryn Hill out of the box for me. I mean, like as far as like my list of who was the greatest, and
100%.
to keep it a buck, to keep it tall, Joe made it onto my list because of how nice he was lyrically.
Yes.
But that was my mistake was putting my favorite in place of the greatest. When we're naming the greatest, my list should have been the same as Bishop's list, because I believe Queen Latifah is the greatest overall product to come out of
100%.
hip hop in New Jersey. Like
100%.
overall, I don't think there's any. She's never lost at anything she's tried.
Yeah.
She's expanded what it is to be not just a female, not just a woman, not just a woman MC, but a woman hip hop head. Like she's expanded what that can be. Now a woman hip hop head can win an Emmy, can go for an Oscar, can act her ass off, can start singing.
Start on the Walk of Fame.
Have a talk show, get a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame, get another show, have another show. Like all this is.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but she hasn't ever had like a major snafu, right? Like major, like no embarrassing moments.
No, she's had some albums that maybe didn't go as good as somebody else's, but every artist has had.
She went to war with Foxy Brown.
Right, but I'm saying like no, nothing she had to apologize for socially, culturally.
No, she's like the Derek
controversy.
Jeter.
Yeah,
she's the Derek Jeter.
Kind of amazing to get through a career.
So
through it, she's still in it.
In all honesty, because my loyalty, because I'm loyal, because I really love Joe and the music that he made. That's one thing, but his impact his greatest impact has not been as a hip hop figure. It has been outside of making music, whereas Queen Latifah is the other way around. Her greatest impact was music first, and then she expanded out to everything. So my list is now. My list is me and Bishop.
Oh, hail the Queen!
List. Yeah, for real.
But you know what? Joe Budden did have a lot of votes for having the best record out of New Jersey of all time.
Out of New Jersey ever.
And best pool party. So there's that.
You went to his pool party?
Yeah,
we both did.
Yeah, we went.
Yeah, I saw you in the SLV video.
Yeah, we say it again.
The SLV video.
Oh yeah, the summer leather vest. That was a couple pool parties ago.
Yeah. I aspire to one day be able to pull up to a Joe Budden pool party, because those look lit.
I aspire to have a pool party to pull up to again, hopefully.
Facts.
In the future. Like
I just want to play. I just want to play Truth or Truth.
Truth or Truth.
I just want to play Truth or Truth.
So we've done the rooms have been, Queens, top Queens, Brooklyn. We've done Long Beach. We've done Compton, the Bay,
Detroit.
You guys are New York guys, or so you're a Toronto guy, right?
Yeah.
So, and in hip hop, like I can't even claim where I grew up, and he always makes fun of me. I was like, my intro to hip hop was Nelly. So that's why I sent you that video the other day. Remember,
I do make fun of her for that.
So anyway, I was so excited.
Mac,
grammar popped on. I was like, yes.
I almost signed Nelly's label for real.
Oh, seriously, nice. So, but that's the Midwest, and then from the South, but you generally kind of know your circle best, and then okay, West Coast, stand up, or okay, and I heard the Northwest has something, or I heard these Florida rappers, like, but you have a preference because of where you're from. And you have like knowledge from when you're a kid, like your knowledge goes deeper from where you're from.
Yeah.
So how do you, I don't know, just me personally, I could not participate in a room about certain areas because I just don't know. So how do you guys?
So that's the best part. That's the best part, because for me, okay, so the connoisseurs that are on the stage,
Mhm.
we can know a lot. We can know a lot, but
Mhm.
we are all okay with not knowing some stuff too. And we learn. We just listen because somebody's going to pull up that rep. Like, I mean, Jerry Wonder pulling up yesterday to talk about the process of the Fugees album, talking about how, hey, it's not about if, it's about when the Fugees are going to come back together.
He said that in the
He
room
said
that the
that.
Fugees were going to get back together, and it wasn't even a question. He
He
said they
said
were
it's not
all
about money,
communicating with each
it's
other.
just about
Yeah,
when, right? So
Wow.
like, okay, so we know as the connoisseurs that we know when it's our time to talk, and we know when it's not our time to talk, and we're okay with that. You know, if somebody comes in the room and they like, I'm literally gonna say to them, hey, listen, man, you know, I appreciate your contribution. Can you please tell us what it was like during this? And they're gonna go, and they love
Right.
that, and they're gonna go, and we're gonna learn. And like I said, with Master G, there was things that we didn't know in that conversation, and we just let him go. We just let him talk.
Mhm.
And I mean, there's no reason for us to cut it unless it, you know, we'll jump in with another question. You know what I mean? So
Okay. If it's
we don't
going
have,
down a different, but yeah.
right. So
Yeah.
I wasn't huge on the history or all of the artists that are from the Bay Area. However, the first tape I ever bought in my life with money that I attained myself was Too Short. Life is Too Short. Now, to me, as a child, I wasn't thinking the Bay Area. I was thinking, holy shit, what is this fucking shit, right? This shit
Mhm.
is fire, and I just love it. And you know, everything he was talking about was crazy. And you know, I knew that I could probably get in trouble if I played this anywhere. And it was just
Make
word.
it even more
right.
fun.
Yeah, it was more that made it more fun. So, but then to have the room, I actually sought after people that were connoisseurs from the area. I
Mhm.
sought after Tim. I sought after
Yuck mouth.
like battle rappers, Yuck Mouth, battle rappers past, Lush One. Like, you know, I went to my resources because I was like, yo, you guys are from here. This is your area. I need you here because there's going to be a lot of things that people don't know, and I need you to pull up and discuss it. You're the connoisseur. So we open the door to others from different regions to assist in things we
Mhm.
don't know, because
How
there's
do you
just things we're not going to know.
how do you get people on? Is you text them or you just invite? How do you get them
You
on
can
all at the
ping them
same
to the
time?
room.
Yeah, we could
Okay, and how
ping
do you
them.
get them on at the same time? Because it's difficult to get three people in a room at the same time having a
Right.
Zoom
Well,
conversation.
now
How
they're looking. Now they're
Okay.
looking. Now that this has become a thing. First of all, if you're from the best way I can put this is bluntly, if you're from any city other than New York or Los Angeles, you feel overlooked and you feel underappreciated.
And you're waiting right now.
If you see a notice that says top 3 best rappers of all time
Bullshit.
from your city, could be
Pulling
Philly,
up.
could be Jersey, could be the Bay Area,
Mhm.
you're not only pulling up to hear what other people think about you, which is what most of the people in the audience are doing. They're listening to see how their city
Is represented.
fares. Yeah,
Yeah.
how we're gonna rate and talk about their city. A bunch of people who have never been there. And then when the locals show up, when people who were actually there, who gave that city its reputation, when they see that, of course they're not gonna miss it because number one, in their heads, you better be talking about me. You better mention me because hey, listen, my contribution, I'm gonna stand up and be counted. Here I come. You better talk about me. And then you better not get anything wrong. I'm gonna listen to you. I'm gonna hear what y'all gotta say. You New Yorkers and you LA cats and you dudes from the South. I'm gonna listen, but you better not get nothing wrong. And if you do, I'm gonna correct you. So now it's to the point where you don't even have to advertise the room super hard body.
Right.
These people find a way to show up because they want to be represented. They don't want to be left out.
And the best part about it too is that, again, the pillars, the people that are the pillars of the culture are there all the time because they're enjoying the conversation as well, and they're adding to it with so much information that now you pull up, and if Punch from TDE logs onto the app and he sees he's scrolling rooms and he sees a top 3 room, he's pulling up because He's going to add to the conversation. He knows what the structure is. He knows what's going on, and he's enjoying it. So he's going to pull up. Somebody from Justina Valentine's pulling up. Who are some others that I mean, like again, Yuckmouth.
We had Nikki D show up last night to discuss
Nikki.
Jersey. We've had Tracy Lee pull up several times.
He's in everyone. Tracy.
Just Blaze
my
and
apologies,
DJ
Tracy
Scratch.
Lee, I should have shouted him out.
Yeah, no, Just Blaze and DJ Scratch, who know like everything, and once in a while they'll start talking about who have worked with people from everywhere. So what you'll have them do is they'll start telling us about joints that they've done that have never been released, and then they'll play a snippet of a song that's never come out from a guy that they recorded with. They'll play Just Blaze will play a record that he has with Game, but it's never come out before, and Game doesn't even remember it. Or the track masters will be sitting at home and they press play, and out comes some ridiculous track with Nas on it, like Nas and Dr. Dre, or just some ridiculous combination that you never would have thought of. And they press play just casual. Oh, just here. And I'm gonna stop it right there. That's all you get.
They're having a good time. That's the best part about it, is that everybody's having a good time. And sometimes it's tough being a moderator, trying to like make sure that the flow is a continuous flow.
Bishop doesn't like us to argue.
No, I don't mind the arguments. I just feel like sometimes, and Royce be getting at me about it, but sometimes I feel like, people gotta talk, and people gotta, like, if somebody says an opinion and then like three or four people jump on them, and because this is the other thing, right? The gift and the curse about Clubhouse and our room specifically is that it gets so candid, and that's the gift, that it gets candid, where everybody is kind of like just free flowing, free talking. But then the curse is it gets so candid that we start forgetting that there's 1,000 people in the audience listening,
or more.
They're just listening, and they're like, I can only imagine being a young hip hop fan, or being an aspiring rapper, or being an aspiring producer, and just being like, look, listen, having my phone on, just going, oh my God, and texting a friend like, yo, track master, come to Bishop's room or whatever, right? And I'm thinking about that. So then I get a little bit, sometimes I'll get a little bit like, come on, motherfuckers, like, let's get it together here, guys, because I want it to flow. I want it to flow, and I want to remember that the audience is there.
But you were happy for your chance to get it Dave Mays. Tell the truth.
100%. 100%.
I was happy at my chance to get it Whack 100. All the stuff he says, I was super happy to check him on all that nonsense. The way he confuses the streets, like the street culture with hip hop culture, and then he'll turn around and tell you can't be a legend because you didn't sell this many records, like all the nonsense he injects. Well, I love the chance to check him for that crap.
Right. So
Probably in front of 1,000 people.
That's the beauty of
you forget that there are people listening.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You honest to God, like I didn't mean to cut you off, B. I had someone hit me in the DMs on Twitter talking about, yo, you wild dirty for embarrassing such and such the way you just did with what you said.
Mm-hmm.
And just in that moment, when I looked over and read it, was like, oh my God, there's like 700 plus people who just heard that. I forgot that there
right?
was.
So that's why there's those moments when it's getting super loud, or if I find that one person is just in a super combative situation with another person, and then I start realizing like, oh man, this person's been talking for fucking 15 minutes, or these two have been arguing for a long time. I'm gonna jump in because I feel like that's important in moderation, is to be like, listen, okay guys, let's wrap this part up because we're not getting anywhere. You're not gonna agree, or hey, you've been talking, and the one thing I haven't done is said to somebody, come on, man, like you've been talking for 15 minutes, bro. Like, let's keep it moving. I don't do that because I'm not a dickhead. I'm not an asshole. And so sometimes I might get a little frustrated because I'm like, oh, okay, like this isn't about you. This is, we're all here. I need to hear from everybody because there's a whole whack of people that are in the crowd. And I've had tweets where people are like hitting me up going, man, yo, such and such is being a buzzkill, or this person you guys brought up is really killing my vibe right now. Like, are we gonna get to moving and whatever? So that's gonna happen. But I'm kind of tightening the reins, and I'm kind of, they're getting at me because I'm not handing out the green beans, which are the moderation buttons. I'm not handing them out as
green bean
fluidly as I would. Yeah, you'll figure it out after.
No, just tell her.
After
Just tell her. Just tell her. Tell her.
A green bean is a moderation button. It gives you the power to bring people up from the audience to talk. You can kick somebody back down to the audience from the stage, or kick somebody out the room, or mute them. Or give somebody else a moderation button. So
that's the power.
It's the power, and people
it's like a blue check instantly.
They're really abusing it, and
Super Mario, boo boo boo.
Right, and that's my curse, because everybody knows that my intent with the green bean is strictly for moderation, and it also prevents people having to blame Mech. Mech, I was in the crowd. Why didn't you bring me up? Right? Why did you bring me up? Like, he may have a homie named fucking Mike from Pennsylvania that feels he knows everything about New Jersey. But respectfully, Mike from Pennsylvania, and that's a made up person if that happens to be coincidence. But
Mike from Pennsylvania is listening like, what did I do? What did I do to you?
Respectfully,
I don't even know Mech.
The audience,
but I do know everything about
the
Jersey.
audience didn't come here to hear that from you. We're literally, like, I'm curating rooms. I'm not just going, oh, you're here, pick you up. Oh, here, I do pick up a few, people that aren't considered on the greater scale of being a connoisseur, but I've had them in different rooms. I've had them on our rooms. So we do bring them up now because they do contribute with great contribution. Trill is one guy. Lab is another. You know what I mean? Mela,
that girl Maria, Mela's another one.
Mela, Alicia, there's Lisa from the West Coast. She's always in our room. She's with she's another person that's.
And do you know them personally, or you just because
a couple of them? Yes, most of them no. We've just interacted with them in different rooms, and they've contributed with valuable information. That's what Clubhouse is. It's you're not going. Listen, if you're starting a Clubhouse, do not go on Twitter and say, follow me on Clubhouse. Don't go on Instagram and say, follow me on Clubhouse. It doesn't work like that. You have to give. It's what you're contributing. And if it's valuable, people will follow you. People will grow your community, and it'll work like that until it goes public, because it's still in beta stages. It's not public.
Do you think this only happened or only worked or only is going the way it's going because of pandemic? Because people have a lot of time. I can't imagine spending as much time on Clubhouse overnight if you had other places to be or things you could go do out, or studios or concerts or early morning jobs or whatever.
100%. It's so that's the gift and the curse, the silver lining in the pandemic. You know what I mean? The connoisseurs are finding a great way to pivot and add value. And I mean, let's be real. If we're having these discussions and the rooms are booming the way they are, we're also making sure that our relevancy to the culture is intact during this time of pandemic, where we can't be out performing, we can't be out, going to radio shows, doing interviews, doing meet and greets, doing whatever we do. We can't do that. So we're centralizing and really maximizing our abilities and our culture and our knowledge. It's great. It's a great tool.
For the layman, is Clubhouse monetized at all? I'm curious.
Not yet. They're working on it.
Yeah, it's still beta. I've said when the pandemic first happened and lockdown first, I think I had this conversation with Crystal. I think me and Chris talked about this. I said very plainly, somebody's gonna get rich. It's situations like this where if you can figure out a way to monetize the situation, you can get rich. This is right. This is where the money is made. It's not made in the average everyday. It's somebody who finds a way to monetize a very specific set of circumstances, and they're going to get rich. There's a millionaire waiting to happen somewhere around here. All they need is the money to pull it off. They need enough money to pull it off. But everybody all of a sudden has the time. You just have to figure out how to make this worth something. Clubhouse was perfect. A perfect way to monetize the solitude and stable, like the having
Right.
the not monetary. What's the word I'm looking for? Not when you have to be still.
Oh, stagnant?
Solitude.
No, solitude and the stationary
Stationary.
situation that everybody found themselves in. Stationary situation.
Mhm.
Here's the thing. It's only going to last for as long as people are inside. You can't Clubhouse walking down the street on your way to meet people. You're not going to do that. You may be in for like a couple minutes, but then you're going to
Well,
get
you
on the
won't
train,
to the extent that
and
it
then
is
you have
now.
someplace, or you're going to get in the car, and you're not going to stay in. You're not going to stay on Clubhouse while you're in the car. You're going to call somebody because you're actually going to have brunch, or you're
Right.
actually going to dinner, or you're heading to a
Meeting,
party. And then
Yeah.
the second you get to the party, you're going to put your phone in your pocket, or it's only coming out so you can take pictures and show people what's happening. So
No,
it's not gonna last, which is why, like, I'm glad Bishop and a couple of heads, we've already got like the next thing that we're gonna do
right.
outside of Clubhouse, because it can't last. It can't last. Second, the world opens back up, Clubhouse is gonna. That's why I
mean,
think it's only in beta right now.
I know enough people that Clubhouse while they're with other people. My best friend Ria, maybe she's Maria that you guys talk to. She'll be in the room. We're having a discussion, then she'll say something out the blue, and we're like, "What? Oh, you're on Club. You're in another room. Also,
Uh-huh.
you're somewhere else." But people are really. I mean, it annoys the hell out of me. But the people can multitask, and attention spans are so, I don't know, split. It's amazing that we can do it because there's like, the older generation is like, talk to me slow, looking in my eyes. Otherwise, no information is coming across. I mean, we can text, phone call, interview, and have the TV ticker on. You can see the news at the bottom. Like, what?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if
Do a
they're gonna,
lot at the same time.
yeah, I wonder if they're gonna monetize it by, like, maybe they'll have like you'll be able to buy a certain amount of coins, and then you could pay for things like getting into a room. Because we could literally have, how many people said to me, Mac, after we had that conversation with Just Blaze, and when Just was talking about playing unreleased songs, and we kept on bugging them about the private rooms, right?
Mm-hmm.
We could literally have a private room, and so many people have told me, listen, I will pay to be in that private room. So like these discussions that we're having with thousands of people that are pulling up, if they figure out a way to monetize it, I can't see why people wouldn't pay a Clubhouse coin to get into one of these rooms. You know what I mean? I'd like to find, like, whenever they do, I'd like to pay anybody else that that moderates with me. I'd love to pay all my speakers that are on the stage. I love,
It's like a panel. It's like you're at the Revolt conference or something. It's like
100%, 100%. That's exactly what it is. So I'd love to pay Mac. I'd love to pay Royce, Glasses. I'd love to pay them all for being there and contributing the way they do. So hopefully, when it comes to monetization, hopefully they get it right, because I'm looking forward to that.
And maybe a brand, something about like how many people and how long they stay. That would be like how.
Sure. You need metrics. You need metrics to
if
measure everything by.
If you can keep people in the room, you get X amount, or you get, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you need
your
metrics.
average time, your average join time. Or
the issue is, number one, I'll tell you. I'll put my consultant hat on for a second. I'll tell you how I see Clubhouse messing up.
Sorry.
I'll tell you exactly how I see them fucking it up. Number one, charging a subscription to be on Clubhouse, period. You're gonna lose. If it doesn't cost you anything to be on Instagram, doesn't cost you anything to be on Twitter, if you start trying to make it a subscription-based thing, you're gonna take an L. Nobody's gonna pay for that specifically when they still have these other ones. That's an L. If their best model is to do what Reddit does, and like Bishop said, you give like coins, you let people pay as they want to do certain things. Like they can still jump in and out of rooms. You can't turn it into OnlyFans. You can't do that. Nobody's, you know what I mean? You can't. Well,
I don't think Clubhouse is selling sex anywhere.
No, but I mean, well, there is, but that's a whole different thing. What is, yeah, see how fast that happened?
We're definitely not talking about that one.
Yeah. What Clubhouse
is there a corner on this Clubhouse?
I mean, kind of. OnlyFans offers a very specific experience with a very specific person, and it's the experience you want to have, so you're paying to be in there. Clubhouse is a different story, and it's not driven by somebody's vice. OnlyFans is a vice-driven thing. People always pay for their vices. There are no vices when it comes to Clubhouse. Just a bunch of people who like to hear themselves talk, and 9 times out of 10 want to hear somebody else talk. But that's the same thing as going to school, and people only pay to go to school because they have to. That's just college. So my whole thing is when it comes to this, there's a couple of models that they can follow where they could monetize it and make some money. There's a whole bunch of ways that they could mess it up to where people are like, oh, okay, never mind, and just go away, and that becomes a whole different thing.
The craziest thing is that the whole industry, tech, social. I mean, the funny thing about that is that everything in the business world of entertainment is moving towards a subscription-based type of. Thank you. Moving into a subscription-based model, like we saw with the JBP now, the Joe Budden podcast, on Patreon, and Spotify, Apple, even YouTube. It's moving in that direction. I feel like because of the exclusivity right now, people are foaming at the mouth to get on Clubhouse. And when you get on Clubhouse, it's very addicting. It's very addicting. So could there be a way to strike while the iron's hot? I agree with you that I think that if they rolled that out the wrong way, then it could be disastrous. However, I do think that there may be a way to roll that out the right way. And if it's not expensive, if it's not, I mean, if we have, they already have over 1 million users now, right? So if it's like, if we're talking about,
people that already see the value in it might pay, but people that I don't think it would invite new people in. I think if you didn't know how cool it was and you're just kind of like, what's this new thing? And
what if it was $1 a month?
But if you have to experience it first,
right?
It has to be an intro. You have to because you said you walked around and you couldn't find the right rooms. If I come in there and I'm like frustrated for I'm canceling.
And I can go right back to TikTok. I can go right back to Instagram.
Everything else is free and easy, and it's like you can pop out. I'm just saying you have to get a taste for it. It's like a drug. Like you have to get a taste for it in order to pay for it.
Okay, so right now, based on like what we've talked about in this,
definitely curious in your rooms, specifically because I trust that they have value. I don't listen. Enough people talk. I need my quiet time. I don't want people talking at me in my free time.
Fair.
I talk for a living. I don't listen to podcasts.
Right.
So it's there's a lot of content that I don't get to because I want to act. I don't want to watch everyone else's movie.
But that's what this is. That's what this is. It's a podcast in real time.
But how much of that do I want to do for free when I'm just
great
I
question.
need some time off.
We're gonna save the file on this because I have a feeling you're gonna get what we all got. And that's addictive.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat my words. You're like, damn. Remember that day in February?
She's going to be addicted right up until she can go out the house the way she normally does, and then it's gonna be over. Then Clubhouse will be in a distant memory.
Prefer real face.
Most of us do, which is why Clubhouse is gonna.
I wonder how it's gonna evolve though.
What, Clubhouse?
Yeah.
It may not. There's a very real possibility that we won't see it, at least not the same way. I don't think it'll vanish because it's been successful. But I think the user base, the usage of it, is going to shrink so crazy when people have a chance to actually leave the house.
Well, and the influential people that you're so proud to have on these discussions that really can add value are the people that get paid to go places.
Right. When they get back to work, when they're on tour,
when they have the opportunity,
when they have shows, when they do radio interviews. Right now, they're
spending 10 hours a day in studio, actively doing what they're talking about doing.
Right now, they're giving it all away for free. They're interviewing with us for free. They come in and just drop jewels, but these are the same things that interviewers get paid to do, but they're doing it for free because no one's really asking them questions like that. Not that,
and it keeps them relevant, keeps their mind
and
going.
They get to talk free. But the second that Royce drops the Allegory 2 and everybody and their mother wants to speak to him, he's going to go do interviews where he literally talks all day, every day. And by the time he gets home, he's not going to want to talk
looking
anymore.
For a place to give away jewels.
Yeah, he'll be looking for a place to be able to be quiet. And that's what I see for when Coolio was back out on the road, when Yuck Mouth is back out on the road. situation's gonna get different. That's why I'm glad.
I mean,
there's
I'm gonna be back.
How
I'm
can
gonna
you
be back.
curate? How do you curate all this stuff when you guys are both actively back out?
I think at that point it's going to become they'll become special events at that point.
Yeah,
It's gonna turn into
something more scheduled, something more
like these
versus
are like
versus. Well, it's gonna become a content
like a
series.
podcast. It's gonna go back to what Bishop has done what Bishop has done is he's created a very specific podcast for a very specific audience that is underserved when it comes to hip hop music and entertainment. The fact that he's been able to curate that and create that means that it's something that can last outside of its current form on Clubhouse. We can take it someplace else, and I'm saying we because I'm directly involved and I'm invested.
100%.
We can take it someplace else and still give the audience the exact same experience. But that's what podcasters do all day, every day. That's the Joe Budden podcast, the Joe Rogan podcast. That's everybody. You want to hear this. This is the experience. This is where you go to get it. I'm willing to
and
pay.
you know how long it'll be.
Right. I'm willing to pay a couple of dollars to get it popping.
A rabbit hole, like we're there for days.
Right. Unless you don't have any place to go for days, and then hey, bring it on. I can do this.
You can find 20 different podcasts to listen to. But I think
but you're not gonna listen to 20. You're gonna listen to like 2. Maybe you'll listen to 3. Like you're not gonna listen to 20 because if you're an active person, you don't have the time for that.
Right.
Joe Budden is my homie, and I can't listen to the Joe Budden podcast because that joint is 3 hours long.
That's all I listen to, bro. I just spread them out for days.
I don't have that kind of time, and that's my guy. But I go to YouTube and I get like the clips, the little 15-minute clips when I'm going from point A to point B. But I can't bang out. I don't have 3 hours to do anything. Nothing. I can't do anything for 3 hours except for breathe. Period. Nothing.
It's a busy man.
And that's my homeboy. Like him, Rory, Maul, like Parks is my guy. Parks is one of my a good dude.
No, we never shouted them out, man. Rory and Parks be pulling up.
They do. They do. Rory and Parks pull up.
So for the people listening, because this is fascinating and chill, and like you said, it just becomes really. I forget that there's actually a listener base on Fubu Radio. Right. Where do they find these, and how often do they happen? And if you're on Clubhouse, if you're not on Clubhouse, how do people really figure out who you are and understand this?
Okay, so
apparent genius that you have, or this.
So they can find me on all socials, Bishop Brigante. I've one thing that I've always made be a part of my whatever I do. I think consistency makes history, and that's what I run with. And so I've been pretty good at being consistently Monday, Wednesday, Friday, because I don't know, people just be bugging me and they're like, let's do it. We need another room. So I've been consistent with Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Yesterday was the New Jersey room. Tomorrow is going to be Dallas.
Philly, right?
Oh, Dallas.
Was it Dallas? I thought it was Philly.
Oh, no, we're doing Texas.
Oh, okay. All right. We're here for that.
Texas.
I was actually going to ask if you've done some Dirty South.
Yeah, we're doing Texas. And then I believe Friday is Philly. So
after that, we should pull up. We should get around to Atlanta.
Atlanta. I feel like Atlanta is going to be a Monday room. Now I'll tell you why. Because there is an energy on each day. There's an energy, and so I feel
what day do you think or New Orleans would be? That Tuesday. Okay.
It's a Monday. I don't know, Mac. What do you think? I think Mondays are pretty dope. I
haven't had a bad day in the room yet. So
I feel like Fridays are kind of like up in the air.
Friday, okay. I see what you're saying. They
get there.
Is it people's mood or who joins that creates it?
Who joins is always key, but the mood is the energy that he's talking about, and that varies from day to day. I think I've felt personally, now that I'm thinking about it, now that he's brought it up, I've personally felt that Fridays, people still have that I'm about to relax for the weekend vibe, even if they haven't done like a day of going to work the whole week.
And we're being nerds.
Yes.
We're being hip hop nerds.
Yes.
So regardless of how gangster some of us are, regardless how street some of us are, cool, backpacker, journalists, writers, rappers, actors, whatever we are, we're being nerds. We're talking about shit that we fucking love so much, and we're really nerding out on some hip hop shit. So not everybody wants to be a nerd on Friday. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just what it is. So I think that Monday is a great day that kicks off the week. Wednesday is a good
Hump day.
yeah, and then Friday we're working on it. But I think the next room, I think next week's rooms, I think we should start off with Atlanta. I think New Orleans would be dope on Wednesday.
What happens when you've hit all the major cities?
Well, I mean, there's subtopics that happen, right?
Okay.
Because there is a topic that I want. You know what? Matter of fact, I might change Philly on Friday. I might change that. You're hearing it live right now. I think I'm going to change it to the underrated rappers in the greatest duos of hip hop. We need to talk about that. We need to have that discussion. We need to have a discussion about Havoc. We need to have a conversation about Big Boy.
Big Boy.
We need to have a conversation about Capone. We need to have a conversation about
Eric Sermon or Parrish Smith.
Either or. Who else?
Rock or Ruck. Tech or Steel. Which one is the underappreciated? Okay.
We need to have that conversation because
yeah, I'd sign in for that.
Yuck Mouth and Numbskull.
I'm changing it.
Probably Numbskull.
I'm changing it on the schedule for Friday because that conversation. We need some. I think I'm going to make Friday the night for subtopics because we have a lot of them.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
I think we're right at an hour. I just want to point that out because we're like literally 1 minute.
I'm
gonna see that hoodie he's wearing. I'm gonna get that exact same one in that color, and then there's another one that I got the ends.
His whole backdrop, and
because that's his clothing line, and it's amazing. It's fire. So yeah, I'm about to go get that.
I got a care package for both of y'all, and everybody out there that's paying attention, that's watching. Thank you for first of all to both of you. But yeah, if you want to hit me up, Bishop Brigante, or go to my website, theends.ca, or on the Instagram, theends.ca as well. Yeah, man, I'm just, you know what? That's the beautiful thing about the ends is that it's really about representing where you're from. That's what the ends is. Your ends are where you grew up, where you became who you are, what place that you're from that really created, everything about you. And we need to represent that. So that's the beauty about going to each city and representing hip hop, because I'm really basically just traveling from my ends to your ends and really talking about the things that we love.
Oh,
South Jamaica, Queens.
You know what I'm saying?
All day.
I'm from Scarborough, you know what I'm saying? East side of Toronto. That's me.
Chris?
I don't even. Indiana, New Orleans, Tallahassee, New Hampshire.
There you go.
Don't
feel away about it. Be proud of that.
Yeah.
No, because she doesn't know. That's why she feels away, because she's not sure.
I like to claim New Orleans, but I lived there the shortest of any place.
Man, I've had people from the littlest cities.
I came of age, if you will. Like I figured out who I was. I was so ready to leave Indiana. I really didn't enjoy it, but I lived there and it shaped me. But it shaped me to leave there.
There you go. But
God, that is not a ringing endorsement.
No, it's not. I don't really like Indiana that much.
But when you get
people there, but
when you get your hoodie, right?
Yeah.
These are all streets from where I'm from. Victoria Park, Gordon, Birchmount, Kennedy Road. Kennedy Road is like literally my street that I grew up on.
There's an artist named Kennedy Road from there. Do you know her? She's incredible.
Yes.
Kennedy Road, the chick.
Yes. And you know what I'm saying? So like these are all streets in Scarborough that, shaped me to be who I am.
Oh, cool.
So so
I'm gonna have to put some of those.
Yes, you got to pick 12 of them, and I'm gonna send them out to y'all. And so you guys can. I'm gonna send you a couple. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what?
Thank you so much for joining.
The red one and the socially distant. Yeah, I'm here for this. In the meantime, in between time, I'm your man, Mr. Mac.
And I'm Crystal Levin.
This has been the M+M+M show, aka the show. May you live as long as you want and never want as long as you live. Do us all a favor. Go get laid. Peace.
Check out Bishop.